everyone, thank you for joining me. My name's Jenny Moores and I'm a UK Stampin' Up demonstrator. I live on the south coast of the UK in Poole, Dorset with my husband, 2 boys and our border terrier dog called Sid, who's 10. This is my first podcast all about Stampin' Up and maybe a little bit of chatter. You can find me over on my blog or Facebook at www.stampinmoments.blogspot.com. I've been crafting forever in one way or another. I used to use all my pocket money to buy little pens and rubbers and notepads, and now I run my own business as a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I've celebrating being with Stampin' Up for 10 years this year, and I'm really loving it. It's my full-time job apart from looking after my family. So anyway, let's get started. I'm going to start off with updating you on any current Stampin' Up news. We're still with the spring catalogue and the annual catalogue. At the moment we've got the retired list available. So what that is, they retire products to make way for new products coming in the new catalogue on the 1st of June. So that's the retired list. I'll just clarify, sometimes you'll see a bundle on the retired list, but it is actually being carried over. What happens when a new stamp set and a matching framelits or punch and they bundle it together, they give you the 10% discount, but when it goes into the next year's catalogue, they don't give you the 10% discount. So really it is worth getting it if you've got it on your wish list before it goes into the next catalogue. So they've been doing that every year, and they've also updated the clearance rack. That's other stuff that's been in previous catalogues. Some of them's actually got 60% off, so you can get some real bargains there. I can pre-order the new Stampin' Up catalogue. I can't show you actually any pages inside, but this is the cover, and I can pre-order it from the 2nd of May. Let me just get rid of this lead. It's keeping my phone charged at the moment, sorry about that. That's it, I'll just tuck it round there. Alright. Right, so that's about all the news, apart from we're having a colour revamp. These are all the new colours. You can see we've got 5 new in colours. You can't see them fully, but these first 5 are the 5 new in colours, and then these are the 5 colours in colours that are staying from this year. These last for 2 years, and then the previous year's ones will retire. And then we've got all these lovely new colours, so I'll go through with them maybe in the next podcast, but if you want to make sure that the favourite colours that are retiring, make sure you stock up on your re-inker, at least 1 bottle, any marker and cardstock before it's all sold out, because after the end of May, any of the colours that are going, you won't be able to get them the stock again. Okay, so that's about all the news for this month. Everything will be changing. We've got some new promotions coming up in May, so I'll go on and show you those. But the next thing I wanted to show you is what we've been doing in my stamp classes this week. So I've had a Tuesday morning stamp class. I've had a Wednesday afternoon, that's a monthly stamp class, and my Big Shot class, which was last night, which happens every 4 weeks. So that's what I've been up to this week. So on Tuesday, if I just show you the products that we were using, we used the fruit basket stamp set, and the 4 matching punches that will go with the stamp set. The images are obviously fruit, but they're much larger than the punch when you punch them out, okay, because it doesn't give you like a white border round, so the little punch shapes are much smaller. We use some of the Tutti Frutti sequins. These are brilliant. They've already got the sticky dot on the back, so they're really easy to use. I mixed it up with the apron builder framelits. I'll show you the project in a minute. And then we used the matching papers. These are all the ones I've got left, but it's got all fruits and plain size. They're really lovely colours, the strawberries and blueberries. Orange segments and melons and bananas, but they're really useful, and I just keep them in these clear Ziploc bags that I keep my scraps in as well. They just fit in there, and all the little bits I can keep together. So that's the papers I used. For the actual projects then that we did on Tuesday, we made these. And this one, just check I can see. Alright, so the first one I used also the sequins embossing folder. I think, can you just see that there? So I've used real red, lemon lime twist, and soft suede for the sentiment and stamping on crumb cake to make the bowl. So you can see they're punched out, so you don't get a white border, so they're much smaller than the actual when you actually stamp them. See the size there, but they're, you know, smaller when you punch them. Okay, I've used the stitch shaped for the circles, and the layering circles for the scallop one. And this lovely ribbon is lemon lime twist. It's the ombre one, which is really lovely. So that's that card. This one then is the basket in the stamp set, so you can see the fruit in there, and I just used Daffodil Delight and Lemon Lime Twist for the pears. And that little image is the smallest stamp I've ever used, I reckon. It was so tiny, and this little bit here was actually used with this punch. So I punched it all the way in to make the notch for the ribbon, and then if you turn it over, oops, and just put it in the corners, you can take the straight edge off using the punch. Alright, and then I used a little bit of the paper, so that's the tag, and that's baker's twine. This one is nice and fresh and fruity. You're the sweetest, so that's the pineapple one. You can see some of the little sequins there, that one added on. This one's a mixed bowl of fruit, got pears and the strawberries in the bowl. And then this one is the one where I use the apron with the little pocket and the ribbons. And we made this little box as well to go with this card, and I added a little top section. I actually made it with the envelope punch board. You need a 8.5 inches by 3 inches, and you just use the side tab. I'll do that on a separate video. I just added a little top so that you can put a Tombow glue in, you know, just for an idea. Alright, so that was our Tuesday morning class. We had a great fun with that. And then for my Wednesday afternoon class, we used the Sweet Little Something stamp set, which is a 3-step, well, it's sort of 2-step, but it's 3 images where you stamp in different colours and to get the full effect. Alright, there's lots of little sentiments. We did baby cards. So these are the actual cards we did. I did them in the 2 colourways. Alright, and then I did a box to match. Alright, the embossing folder is the sweetheart one. It's the one with a plain heart in the middle. It's a 6x6 one, so I used that for the top layer, and then it was just wide enough, the top and the bottom of the heart, to do the sides of the box, and I just took out little notches so that you can take the lid on and off easier to put your gift in. Alright, and then the sentiment was punched out with the 1 3/8, I think it was, and layered with the 1.5 inch circle punch. Okay, and we added some of, this is Blush and Bride and this is Pool Party. I added some of the stitched ribbon that I had, and I used just crumb cake and early espresso for the bunny image. And then in the actual stamp set there's 3 little flowers, and they're all separate, but this one's so tiny, but I added them all 3 of them on the same block, on the clear block, and stamped the background for the background paper. The papers are the Bundle of Love ones. On the back it's gold, and there's lots of different patterns that are Pool Party and well, I think it's actually Soft Sky, sorry, Blush and Bride. I used the Pool Party. And then for the long cards I used the large letter framelits, which are absolutely gorgeous. I use them all for my scrapbook pages and everything, and I just cut them twice, so you can see there's vanilla ones and in the colorway, and I just glued them together but popped them up after stamping the background with the flowers and the bunny going off the edge. The sweet little something on here, it's called Sweet Little Sun Bunny. I just used the early espresso marker pen to light to colour in the sweet little, and used the border punch, this one, to punch it out, and that's flat, but then all the letters are actually popped up, and I just added a couple of pearls. So that's the 2 colours. Alright, so that's what we did on Wednesday afternoon. And then for last night was my Big Shot class. That's every 4 weeks, so it's in the next one's 4 weeks time if you want to come along. We used the floral, well, the light shining on there, floral phrases stamp set, and what we do in the Big Shot, we try and concentrate on one lot of framelits for the Big Shot. So this is the detailed floral framelits, which you get 2 detailed pieces, and then this piece here, it actually matches both. So you cut this, run that through on the Big Shot, and then you go back and run this edge, and then it will actually give it a pretty edge like that. And you can do the same one for the smaller one. It actually does fit, it's the same shape. Alright, so that's good. So you only need 1 border. Alright, so we used those. And what we made is a gift box. My ladies like to make 3D items on the Big Shot class, so this was a big box. Alright, and then I did a card to match, showing the different ways of cutting out the actual layer. I used Elegant Eggplant and Wisteria Wonder, and then the stamp set that I did for the sentiments, it's Label Me Pretty, and it's got the matching punch. Alright, which is a very useful one, which is being carried over, so that's that's good. And then on the top one, I just ran the layer after doing the stamping. Not this is a separate punched out added, but I used the Petal Burst embossing folder on top of it. Okay. So I'll just quickly show you how to do that. You need to cut 2 pieces of cardstock, and so this you can do this with A4. You don't need 12 by 12. So this was a whole sheet, so I've cut it in half at 10.5, because I wanted to be able to have this at the bottom, and I wanted to have enough room for the lid to come down without disturbing the actual pattern on the side. Okay, so that's where I got the height from, and I wanted enough border around so I could add some glue for the backing sheet and the base. So sort of I laid that sort of there to get sort of about half a centimetre, about 1/4 of an inch all the way round. All right, so then I scored it at 11 centimetres and 22. So these 4 panels are the same width, so you could do which width you like. And then I just added a little bit, half a centimetre, because I couldn't do much more because otherwise it would be showing through the actual die cut. All right, so if I just show you what it looks like once you've run it through. So it does take a while because you've got to run this through a few times. I went back and forward a couple of times and then used my die cut brush to get all the pieces out, and then there was a few, so it does take quite a while to get all the pieces popped out. So you want to do that on that one side and then the other side, so do that on 2 pieces, and then you're going to add a piece of double-sided tape on the very thin section where you've scored. And when you doing this, make sure that you do both pieces at this go in the same way. Don't accidentally turn it, so otherwise your little thin section be on the opposite side, because we're going to join these up. So just add a little bit of thin tape. I've got 1/8 of an inch tape, and you're going to add it so that you'll join it at the score line, so you've got one long piece then. All right, and then you're going to turn it over and you're going to add some layers behind the back of it. All right, so each piece you're going to add, I had them so that I had the same height on each way, so I just ran a little bit of Tombow just round the edge. If you put tape round there, it ends up coming just slightly in, because this is 10.5 by 10 centimeters. All right, and just make sure you get it round the right way. If you put it up that way, see, it's too short. All right, so just centre it so they all cover that up. All right, and then you're going to join this whole piece up to make a cube. Use your bone folder, but I'm just doing it with my fingers quickly to show you. Alright, so if you bring that in, and you can add that. Alright, so once you would have added all your paper layers behind there. Alright, and then you need to make a base for the bottom. Alright, all you're going to do, this is I think it was 13 centimeters by 13 centimeters, and I scored at 1 centimeter all the way round, and you're just going to make a little tab. You could chop these tabs off. I just did it this way. And then you're going to put tape on the outside all the way round. You could use Tombow, but I just found it easier to do double-sided tape. Just using the tear and tape. You use this tape. I love this tape. It's really strong for making boxes. So I'm adding a little bit on the tab as well. Ooh, I've ripped my paper. Alright, so then you're going to get your bone folder. Do nice crisp lines, and then you'll get a nice square box. Alright, and then you're going to get the little tab and you're going to put that behind the side layer. Okay, so do that to all four corners. Alright, oh, I didn't put any tape on that side, hang on. Okay, and then that's going to go over there, so it's going to go inside there. When you've got the lining sides on, you won't see it, so that's with the actual sides finished. Okay, and then for the lid, you need to have a 17.3 centimetre by 17.3, and you're going to score at 1.5 and 3 centimetres on all four sides. Okay, and then you'll end up with the 4 little squares in each corner, and we want to chop away the L shape to leave one tab. So you follow the second score line and cut up to the second score line and take away the little sliver, and then you chop off the 2 bottom squares and then the outer square, and that is, then you've removed the L shape. Alright, so you do that to all 4 corners. So cut up to the second score line. I take the sliver out because then you don't get different heights on your folds of your box. So you want to turn it round and do the same on the opposite side. Alright, so you're chopping away the bottom 2 squares and the outer square, and I'm chopping off the actual score line. Okay, so do that to all 4 sides. Nearly finished. Alright, so you're left with it like that. So the bumpy side of the score lines is the inside of the box. So on the inside of the box, you want to put tape on the 4 long sides that are left. And this will make a double-sided lid. I like making boxes like that because they're much stronger. So this is the inside, so turn it over and you're going to put a little bit of tape on just the tabs. You only need a little bit. Again, you can use Tombow. I just used the tear and tape to make boxes, really. And then you're going to get your bone folder and crease all the score lines really well. Alright, so you'll get a nice crisp box. Don't go back and forward too much because it makes the cardstock shiny and then you'll get a little sheen on it. It won't look that nice. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to, a bit like the base, but this time we're going to put the tab to the side, and then we're going to bring down the actual side. So what I do all that to the tabs first. Don't go over the edge, try and keep it straight to your cut line. Alright, so all the little tabs first. Ooh. Okay, and then what I do, fold them back. I put down the sides over the tabs, just in case the tab hasn't stuck properly. Then you're reinforcing the tab, and then I just put it on its side and run the bone folder down, get right in the corners and give it a nice crease. Alright, so do the opposite side, so that's where the tabs are. So take the double-sided tape off and just fold it over, and then get your bone folder right in the corners. Alright, this one needs squashing down a bit, and then you can do the others too. Right, and then that's your lid. So that goes on top, and then you can decorate it. What I did, I did add another layer of elegant eggplant. That's 10.5 by 10.5 centimeters, and this layer here is 10 by 10 centimeters, and I stamped it with the floral phrases image, one going that way, and then turned it, and so it's coming down this way. And then I did another punched happy birthday to you, coloured that in with the marker pens. I used Pear Pizzazz, Daffodil Delight and Wisteria Wonder, and then I stamped this again on some Wisteria Wonder and just cut out the big rose and popped that up, added a few flowers. This layer's popped up, and then that can go on top of your box. Alright, so that's what we did in our Big Shot class. Right, I just thought I'll show you. What's coming in May. This is the May promotion. It's an early release suite that customers can purchase in the month of May before it goes in the main catalogue. So they've what they've done, they've lumped together 3 bundles, so with all different products, but it's all in one suite. It's just whether you get a little bit of the suite or a lot of the suite. Okay, so the products are the Love What You Do stamp set, and then Make a Difference stamp set, which is a lovely alphabet one with different fonts and words. The Statement of the Heart stamp set. One of the dynamic embossing folders, which is the lovely floral one, which is a deep embossing folder for the flower spray. We've got these pearl doilies, because Stampin' Up is celebrating, I was going to say the 30th wedding anniversary there, but their 30th year in business. So they're pearl on one side and matte on the other side, so you could colour them. There's some rich raspberry velvet ribbon. There's some lovely coloured pearls already coloured for you. There's 12 by 12 paper pack. It's a massive one. You get 4 sheets of all the different designs, and you can see can you see where they've got some pearl pieces on the pages. So I'll just quickly flick through, and you get 4 sheets of every design, so you can see some of them's got the pearl on to celebrate, and some other cardstock, so very vanilla A4 cardstock, and the all sorted cardstock of the different colours. In some of the suites you get some envelopes free. You get this lovely embellishment kit free, which is some labels, different sheets of the labels. You get some baker's twine. You get these lovely rose silver little embellishments, and the paper clips. So lots to choose from. So like I say, there's 3 different bundles, and they're letting you choose the in colour ink pads for 10% off in May, before they go into the main catalogue. So that's good. The main option of the new ink pads are that the lid lifts up different. Normally you push it and slide it, so some people find it hard to do, but this one is you lift it up like a compact, and then you push it and slide, so that bit's the same, and you just pull it and lift and shut like that. It's got little indentations on the top and little feet on the bottom, so you can stack them on your shelf, how to store them, and they are coming up with a storage solution, but it's not ready yet. And so yeah, so that's May. So I'll coming back with a video of what I've made with all the products to show you from the 1st of May. So that's about it for me today. So I hope you like the podcast. I'll probably do it on Thursdays after I've done my weekly classes, but I'll see how we go. And so that's about it. We've had a holiday, so we're back to work now. And my youngest son Robert is getting ready to move to America to get married with his lovely fiance Taylor, and so we've got all that to look forward to. And the weather's been quite nice the last few days. We've got robins in our garden, and yeah, so let me know what you think, and I'll speak to you again soon. Have a good day. Bye.